Ramakatha Rasavahini, Prema Sudhamritavahini, Sathya Sanatani Dharma Swarupini, Shanti Pradayini Mokshakarini, Ramakatha Rasavahini, Ramakatha Rasavahini.
Sai Ram, everyone. We'll get started with prayer. Sai Ram, everyone.
Sai Ram.
We are in the 5th chapter of the Ramakatha Rasavahini. And what we have read so far is that the princes are now at the age of about 10 and 11. And so King Dashratha feels it's the right time for them to know what is Paravidya and what is Aparavidya, and to ensure that the foundations of Paravidya are laid in them. He feels that them going on a pilgrimage to all the sacred shrines will instill that sense of spirituality or divinity in them, which will keep them very firmly rooted as they go through lives, through the ups and downs of life. They will be firmly established in divine nature. And so he has planned for this pilgrimage. And even as this pilgrimage is about to happen, the queens have got some nurses to accompany the princes. There are a few other comrades, other children of the same age to go with them. And they are now getting ready to go on this pilgrimage. And on the day that they are to leave, they take the blessings of the Guru. We talked about how a black dot is adorned on their cheeks, the reason behind why that is done, both from a very mundane point of view and also having the spiritual reason behind it, and also how one is clothed, the attire that one wears when going on a pilgrimage. Because here the princes, they give up on their royal robes and they come down to wearing silk clothes and so on. And the attire that would befit a pilgrim, that's how they get dressed. And so we had discussed what is the inner significance of that attire that one wears when going on a pilgrimage. And also when they are leaving, how the whole place is resounding with all of these shouts of jaikars filled with joy. That is what we had read as of last time. I'll see if Uncle Ron, if you would like to read this once more, and if anyone has any questions or inputs, we can go through that and then move on to the next slide.
Certainly.
Sai Ram.
Thank you. Yeah, Sai Ram.
Elated at the prospect of the princes getting this great opportunity, Sumantra had all preparations made to his satisfaction. He got ready himself to accompany them. The queens came to know of the pilgrimage that the princes were undertaking. They were delighted that the princes were going on such a holy venture, and they made many things ready to render it as happy and useful as possible. They arranged a few nurses for them and some comrades of their own age to accompany them. The princes, too, were beside themselves with joy at the prospect of visiting the sacred places of the land. They enthused their companions and sought from the king equipment and clothes for them also. The next day, when the auspicious hour specially selected for the journey arrived, the princes bowed before their parents, touching their feet with their foreheads. They fell at the feet of the preceptor. The mothers placed holy dots on their foreheads and cheeks to ward off the evil eye and to guard them against evil. They discarded royal robes and put on the habiliment of pilgrims, that is to say, silk dhotis round the waist and silk shawls wrapped around the shoulders, and taking leave of all, they ascended the chariot. The palace resounded with shouts of victory rising from thousands of citizens who had gathered to see them off. The chariot moved on with guards before and behind. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Uncle. Just check. Yes, Auntie.
I want to make a few points here.
Yes, Auntie.
They discarded all the royal robes and put on the ordinary dresses of pilgrims. That's it. One, we already have discussed about this, but one point I want to add. First of all, it is very easy for the pilgrims to travel. For traveling, it is better to have a simple clothing. The second point which I want to make here is, if they had gone with those royal robes on the streets of those pilgrimage, ordinary people would not have the courage to come and talk to them and contact them easily. That would deter them from coming closer to them. So it was very easy, just like any pilgrim, or Sri Rama and his brothers were dressed in common dress, so that people could come to them and talk to them, and he could also interact with them. And that's how Sri Rama comes to know about all their needs. What are their particular needs about bringing, shelters and other things, which he later on in the next paragraph we come across. So I think it was easy for common people to contact them. That's what I feel. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Anyone wants to add on to what Auntie mentioned or any other points? Yes, Brother Narendra Reddy.
Sai Ram, brothers and sisters. And sister, I fully endorse your point. I just want to give an example of a few years ago, we had a major, I just want to draw a parallel. We had a major conference, not a Sai conference, but something else. And it was held in a 5-star hotel. And later we were criticized that when you have a conference like this in a 5-star hotel, the common man will not come there. Simple as that. We were really taken to task. This was an organization called Gopio, and we held it in Devon in South Africa. I just want to give this a comparison. When you want common people to come, and if you are in a 5-star place, only 5-star type of people will come there. So it was a great point to mention that it gives easy access to the common people there. Sai Ram.
Thank you, brother. Very nice.
Since they were princes, it was hard for the common people to come and closer to them and then ask and then try to interact with them. So that's how I think it was the idea of Sri Rama to wear an ordinary attire so that he can interact with people. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Auntie. Anyone else wants to add to that? Okay, yeah, so very true. Yeah, I think if we take God himself, when Swami came as avatar, he came in human form. If Swami has said if he would have come with Shankha Chakra Gada Hasta, they would have put Swami in a museum. So, so the thing is, God himself has to come in human form. Why? Because he has to transform humanity. So likewise, those days, I think kings would also go in disguise in commoner clothes. They would go along with their ministers and go and see the lives of people, the common man, to understand how it is, what is the state of uh, physical physicality of things in their day-to-day livelihood. How are the subjects thinking about the king and the kingdom? All of those they would get when they would go in that disguise and learn about their subjects and come back and make any adjustments or modifications in their the way that they would rule so that it benefits the subjects. And so here also, like Auntie and Brother Narendra mentioned, I think uh, for Rama and the princess, like what was said, for everyone to mingle, it becomes easy when they see they are of the equal status. Suddenly, if they see them come as royal princes with all of ornaments and the soul, of course, no doubt soldiers and people will still be around, but they'll be at a distance, giving the opportunity for the children also to mingle with commoners. And only under those circumstances can mutual sharing of how things are going on can happen. So very true. So from that point of view, I think it helps from getting the mindset of going on a pilgrimage. It helps in the physical way that they have to carry themselves with all of that. Also, it helps the ease of moving around and also mingling with people. So several points, it is very useful. Any other thoughts from anyone else? Okay. If there is, we can go to the next paragraph. So, Uncle Ron, if you want to read.
Certainly, Sai Ram.
Thank you.
Days, weeks, even months rolled by. They went to every temple and sacred spot. They imbibed the holiness of each place. They worshipped at each shrine with faith and devotion. They learned after deep inquiry the history of each place and the antecedents of the shrines. They ignored every other thought or activity during all that long period. Sumantra was describing to them the sanctity of each place so graphically and intimately that their hearts were thrilled. The princes plied him with questions demanding further and deeper elaboration of his narrations. Sumantra was overjoyed at the insatiable yearning of the boys, and he gave even more information and inspiration. Thus they journeyed from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and from the eastern sea to the western, spending more than 3 months. They had their eyes open to the sufferings of the people and the discomforts of the pilgrims in every region of the empire. And whenever they observed these, they pleaded with Sumantra, the minister, to set things right and to provide the needed amenities. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Uncle.
Sai Ram?
Sai Ram, Auntie. I'm just seeing if Sitaram is there. He can translate. If not, I can. Okay, Auntie. Then we can go ahead, Auntie. No problem.
ఓకే. దినములు వారములు గడిచిపోయాను.
Days and weeks rolled by.
ప్రతి క్షేత్రమును ప్రతి తీర్థమును దర్శించి పూజించి విషయములు విచారించి
Every shrine, every place of worship was seen and adored.
అత్యంత ఉత్సాహముతో భక్తి శ్రద్ధలతో
with a lot of enthusiasm, devotion, and steadfastness,
అన్య వాంఛలకు చోటు ఇవ్వక
without giving any room for any other desire.
నిరంతరం క్షేత్రముల విశేష చరిత్రములను
constantly contemplating on the specialities of that shrine,
సుమంతుడు చెప్పచుండ
even as Sumantra was describing.
పిల్లలు శ్రద్ధాళురై ఇంకేమిటి ఇంకేమిటి
The children were continuously asking, what else, what else?
అని క్షేత్ర విశేషములను విఫలముగా అడుగుచుండేది వారు.
They would ask about the details of that shrine with a lot of interest.
వారుల శ్రద్ధాభక్తులకు సుమంతుడు ఎంతయో ఆనందించుచు
Sumantra was overjoyed seeing the devotion and steadfastness of the children.
ఎంతయో ఆనందించుచు మరిన్ని విశేషములు తెలుపుచుండెడివాడు.
With a lot of joy, he would share additional details of the place.
ఈ రీతిగా కన్యాకుమారి మొదలు కాశ్మీర్ వరకు
In this manner, all the way from Kanyakumari to Kashmir,
ఉత్తర దక్షిణ తూర్పు పడమర సముద్రముల తీరముల
all the way from the east to the west, spanning all of the oceans,
తీరముల వరకును గల క్షేత్రములను 3-4 మాసములు సంచారము చల్పి
from the shores of each of these oceans, they undertook the pilgrimage for about 3 to 4 months.
మధ్య మధ్య ఆయా రాజ్యములందు గల కొన్ని ప్రజా అననుకూలములను
in between, seeing the inconvenience of the subjects of the kingdom,
యాత్రికుల అననుకూలమును గుర్తించి
knowing the discomfort of the pilgrims,
మంత్రితో చెప్పి
they would tell the minister,
వాటిని సరిచేయించుచు
having got them corrected,
దైవ మందిరములకు తగిన ఏర్పాట్లు
making the necessary arrangement for the shrine,
భద్రతలు కల్పించుచు
ensuring.
I think it's they are not think
Okay, that's the next thing.
that's it.
Thank you, Auntie.
No, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Anyone has any thoughts or inputs to share on this? Yes, Sister Aruna.
No, Sai Ram, Beena raised her hand. Sister Beena, why don't you go ahead, please? Yes.
Thank you, sister. Yes, I just wanted to say here, Sai Ram, first of all, that in the second paragraph, when it says that all the enmities and all for the needed person set aside, or all the princess said to Sumantra, the minister, to set the things right. What I have to say is for us, when we go to the pilgrimage, we are encouraged to do the Dharma at the same time. That is the one of the a key factor, that when you go to the pilgrimage, of course, we would not have the opportunity to go and serve each and every one. So it is it is just encouraged. It's a recommended in a way that it is a good idea to do lots of dharma, so they can use that resources from there to provide to needy people. So this is what we. It's like this is the way pilgrimage it should be. At the same time, we can do it that way. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Auntie.
Sai Ram.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that one sentence in the first paragraph. They ignored every other thought or activity during all that long period. So even we go on pilgrimage, is that the way we have to do it? But there are so many other things too, right? But for them, there are other people can take care of it. then I'm thinking like Swami is like the expectation that we shouldn't have any other thoughts when you go on pilgrimage. It's like you shouldn't be multitasking or like that, something like that.
Thanks for that question.
I wanted to understand a little more about that, so thought of just get some um, what is that really means, kind of. I really like to understand more. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you, sister. So, sister has a question for us. During pilgrimage, is it a single task or multitasking activities? What should be the way we approach a pilgrimage? Many times there are challenges while going on a pilgrimage because they are side by. If we go on Patiyatra, for example, we'll have drama, music program, so many things going on. Those tasks may require multitasking to happen. How do we then stay with one single task, one single priority, which is the purpose of the pilgrimage? So that is sister's question. Anyone has any thoughts, inputs on this? Yes, Sister Vani.
Sai Ram, brother, it's a good question, Sister Aruna. So I think, we should attempt to do all actions, whether it is other service activities or other things that we are trying to do during the pilgrimage. We should have the attitude that we are actually surrendering to Swami, to the God, that all our actions and the fruits of those actions, and just have that one-pointed concentration that whatever we are doing, it is all being surrendered at the feet of the Lord.
Sai Ram.
Thank you. Yes, Auntie.
First of all, there is no time for you to think of any other thing except the things which we have to perform there. Whether you are having a drama or a music program or chanting of Vedas, everything is only about Swami. You are thinking about Swami and how we can offer our service, our prayer to Swami. In what way? So that itself is enough. We are not thinking about any other thing like in going to watching a TV program or watching your politics. No, you are not doing it. You are doing only those things which are connected with Swami's programs. So I think your mind is only about that, what you are doing. Sai Ram. Aruna.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Sister.
but I'm saying like Auntie, you said about when we are going on pilgrimage, we have taking our programs and everything. That is part of our pilgrimage, we'll consider. But at the same time, you have like other things to the household work or something at working place, something you have to take care of it. So according to this, you have to leave everything behind and go with the one thought of like a pilgrimage only, right? So it's nowadays it's hard to do, right? Other things are in your plate, like you have to take care of that too. That's what I'm thinking. How Swami, like those days they did it, but nowadays it's kind of little hard. Kind of, I think it's kind of little
We
hard.
should never neglect our daily duties. Our household duties are also very important.
Yeah.
So even if you are there, your mind is sometimes, it goes back to your, what is happening at home? that thought comes to us. But as far as possible, better to avoid. And then if your mind is on all these other programs which you are offering to Swami, then I think you are doing good enough.
Yeah.
I feel so. Anyway, ask others also.
Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you, Auntie. Yes, Sister Rashmi.
Hi, Ram sister, just making a humble effort here. I remember on one of the occasions Swami had mentioned in his discourses where he says that when you're coming to Puttaparthi, you stop by to eat delicacy. Then you take a U-turn and you forget to buy a sari. So you go shopping. And then you go to meet a friend. So you are not coming to meet Swami, but you are doing everything that else is necessary. What you feel is necessary. Is that what you're coming here for? So I don't remember the exact, uh, you know, what exact reference it was to, but I very clearly remember it was about when you are coming to Bhagwan, then what all stops you on the way. Now, I think that clearly defines the, or addresses the concerns that we're talking about when we are talking about doing Dan, Dharma, and everything, which I think Beena Auntie and Mani Auntie had just explained, that is all a part of the pilgrimage. You agree with that? But anything which is unnecessary, which is deviating from the thoughts of the Lord, should be avoided. But when it comes to daily activities, yes, we are not kings and queens, so that has to be delivered. It's a part and parcel of the whole journey. But in my humble opinion, much less experience than any of the elderly devotees here. But that's where my mind was racing to narrate that Bhagwan on one of the occasions has given this example of devotees taking time on the way, on the journey itself, stopping by for delicacies, for shopping, for meeting friends, and then landing in Puttaparthi. So just wanted to make a, share this with all of you. Sai Ram.
Thank you, sister. Any other points? Yes, Sister Anandi.
Sai Ram, brothers and sisters, uh, what I wanted to share from this passage, it's my interpretation. Life is a long pilgrimage itself. Our life is a long pilgrimage, not the pilgrimage we go for Patti or for other Thala yatras. Life itself, it's a pilgrimage. So I take the inner meaning of this one. The Swami is trying to tell us the life may have ups and downs, and you have to prepare yourself. And also in our life journey, life yatra, we have to allocate some time to introspect ourselves. That could be meditation, or that could be the spiritual sadhanas. So during that time, we have to put aside all other activities, and they focus on that activity. Also, in this passage, I got that you have to the mentally or physically, you have to go Kanyakumari to Kashmir, you top to the bottom, or the eastern to western. That means that you have to be aware your surroundings, and how you can improve your, the spiritual sadhana within that, territory, and if while you are going through exploring, you would look at the others, how they are sufferings, what I could do, for the well-being of other people, and what in my personal level, what I could do, all those things, the Swami is trying to tell through these passages. That's what I got it, I just wanted to share it, rather than, the literal meaning or, the text meaning. This one, I got it as an inner meaning from these passages. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Anyone has any other points to add? Okay, I will also attempt. Oh, yes, Auntie Beena, yeah, you can go ahead.
Sai Ram, I was just saying that when pilgrimage to Prashanti and pilgrimage to other places in India, let's say, um, it's a bit different scenario because when we go to Prashanti to offer Bhagawan a lot of different way, like drama and music and sometimes speeches and so many things. Our ultimate goal is to worship whatever the way to Bhagawan in Prashanti Nilayam. Apart from there, when we go to the different like Somnath or so many other places that Jyotirlingams are there, Shakti Pithas are there. Those are the things when that is the pilgrimage. It's probably it's going to be different because there is nothing we are offering except our heart, our worshipping, our puja, archana, listening to the Veda mantras there also, and being in a holy place and doing some a different kind of a thing there. It's totally so we can't compare a Prashanti Nilayam pilgrimage to any other because this one is mainly it is kind of a there only I find it is a multitask kind of thing. When you go to the other pilgrimage, there it is a very different activity. That's all I have to say. So, but the both ultimate, our goal is to just be very much in a sannidhya of Bhagavan, nonetheless, isn't it? Sai Ram.
Thank you. Thank you for that input. Anyone else has any other points? Okay, so maybe I'll just attempt on this one. So now, when we are doing any activity, any task, we are also breathing. We are also inhaling, we are exhaling. Are we saying that, no, I should actually inhale and exhale, so I will do that task and then come to another task? As we are doing every task, we are inhaling and exhaling. Our sadhana should become like that when we are doing any task, it should be like inhaling and exhaling, thinking of God. Like how we are inhaling and exhaling, we should be able to take the name of God and go with that. If we are able to practice our sadhana time and again, time and again, time and again, and take it to a level that it becomes as involuntary like our breathing, then any task we do, we are able to keep Swami in mind because it is second nature of the mind to know that it has to dwell on Swami when it is doing any other task. What is the purpose behind every activity? It is Sarva Karma Bhagavat Prityartham. Every activity is done to please the Lord. So if you are able to both breathe and do another activity, breathing is one activity, and now even as each of us are breathing, we are able to think, we are able to talk, we are able to do everything. I think the level of the ekagrata or concentration of the mind has to be so much that it has to make that part of focus on Swami the primary reason, everything else is secondary, and that is Abhyasa Yogena. We have heard that it is by practice time and again that the thought of doing that activity, like what was mentioned by Sister Vani as surrender, or what Sister Anandi mentioned about life itself being a pilgrimage, it just comes down to the fact that ultimately everything is done with Ishvara Arpita Buddhi. We are done as an offering to God. And whatever is received from God is Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. We are getting it as something that is coming from Swami. As a whatever is a reaction, reflection, and resound coming of that action done is coming from Swami. So it is not whether we go to Prashanti Nilayam for a pilgrimage. It is not whether we go to any other pilgrimage. it is about our day-to-day pilgrims, that we are as pilgrims heading in this journey of life towards the ultimate goal of realizing who we are. I think at that level, when the effort is made continuously, I think then whichever activity we do, we know that this activity is done just to please Swami. And so when we know that that activity is done to please Swami, it is done the way we would prepare any Naivedyam and offer it to Swami, with that care, with that focus. I think time and again it comes to that practice which will make it as involuntary as our breathing. So if we can do something of that kind, then I think we will really not have to bother, oh, am I thinking of Swami when I'm doing this activity? Because within us, the Namasmarana is happening continuously. Within us, the mind is always focused on offering it to Swami. So it's more of that continuous reinforcing that I would say will ultimately lead to a state of total surrender, total nishkama karma, and all of that. Yeah. But then we can always start somewhere and keep doing it till it becomes fully focused on Swami. That two things what we had learned, ekagrata and kendriya karana. If we can have all the senses focused inward and then concentrate on that single source of truth, I think then every task, irrespective, like Swami would say, give that example of the dancer also. As she's dancing, she's able to keep the pot on her head and then do all of those things. How is she able to do all those tasks? Ultimately, it's coming out of practice. So if we can do with that kind of intensity of the sadhana and offer it to Swami, then I think Swami himself will take care of the rest. Any other comments or thoughts or? Yes, Sanjana.
Thanks, Satish, Sai Ram. No, just to add to what you said, see, the one of the meanings of the root word tirtha is the point of crossing. One of the root words. So it is between the world that is touched, the world that is seen, to the world that is not touched, cannot be seen. And it's not another way to the question that Sister Aruna asked. If we do other things, then what happens? Nothing wrong with that, I think, but it may not be a pilgrimage anymore. It may not be a yatra anymore. It's like it's like the shopkeepers who are outside Puttaparthi for years on end, right? Are they on an extended pilgrimage, or are they just there? They're just living there, right? So I think it becomes a Tirtha Yatra, or it's defined as that only with the purpose with which we go there, not just because we go there. It is a purpose with which we go there, and how we fulfill that purpose. The original intention with which we decide to go there, the original intention with which we made plans to do the things that we want to do while we are there, and that is what makes it a pilgrimage, not just going there. And I think if we are cognizant of that part, then automatically each of us will know exactly, are we now in pilgrimage mode, or are we on non-pilgrimage mode? Both of which is okay. It is a gradual refinement. So I think otherwise it becomes just a trip to the place. So yeah, I think just wanted to add that to the question. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's
Very nice.
makes it grim versus pilgrim.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you. Any other points? Any other inputs? I don't know. Was it Uncle Ron who raised first? Who were between? Yeah, Uncle Ron, you can go ahead.
Okay, Sai Ram. Just one last point from me is kind of stating the obvious, but I just want to point out that in these two paragraphs, to my mind at least, it very nicely shows uh, an ideal of sorts. That is the whole thing about Sri Ram and his brothers being very attentive regarding these shrines and holy places and applying lots of questions and being very enthralled at it, but at the same time being very aware of the physical circumstances of the people as they go on this pilgrimage. So it just reminded me of Swami saying about one should have your head in the forest and hands in society. To me, it seemed to illustrate that very well. Plus, also the ideal of the king is to right to be able to focus on the divine, but also to be very much active in the world, dealing with the issues that are the duties of the king, but also not forgetting the divine. So that's all. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Uncle. Yes, Sister Vani.
My question is that, sometimes I've heard people saying, when you go on like a pilgrimage, a yatra to Kashi, that you have to fulfill all your household responsibilities and then make a yatra like a holy place like Kashi. So I guess it is attributed only to Kashi, or like, I guess, other shrines and other temples, like we all go all the time. But Kashi has been like a very special, like heard people saying that. Like, what's the significance? I know they go and do Pitru Dharma and all that there, but is there any significance saying, that you have to fulfill all your household responsibilities before going in such a sacred pilgrimage?
Thank you for that question.
I'll try to attempt that question.
Yes, Auntie.
Those days, I am speaking about ancient days, when people used to take up sannyasa, leaving all their household duties, household, everything finished, and they used to travel on foot, taking long time. Some people used to pass away even while taking that trip to Kashi. And it was believed that to die in Kashi is the very auspicious thing. And Shiva himself comes and tells the Sri Rama mantra, Taraka mantra in our ears. That's supposed to be the belief. People used to go and die there, to die. That is sannyasis. And I'm talking about those days. Now, things have changed completely. You can go to Kashi or you can go to any place, not necessary that you have to take sannyasa or household duties. It was specially mentioned for Varanasi, Kashi. Kashi Mrityu, Kashi Marata, Kashi Marata Dukkarata Kadat, Sathya Rama Nam. Rama's name is whispered into our ears by Sri Shiva himself. That is the belief. So people used to go like that. That's what I have learned. I don't know about other things.
Thank you, Auntie.
Thanks, Auntie. Anyone else wants to add anything on top of that? Yes, Auntie Bina.
Sai Ram, I just want to add what Mani Auntie said that correctly. Kashi is the moksha nagari. That is what it is, our scripture says, and it is because of the Shankar Bhagawan. But what I have to say regarding this question, that it is not that you fulfill every single thing and then you think of going to Kashi. No. Kashi is also, it should be inside us also, Kashi. That's the most important thing. You can do the work at home and still you can have a vairagya. That is for your Kashi. It's not like that, okay, I'm done with this complete sansara. Now I'm going Kashi. It's not like that. It's a different aspect, as you know, that we are all on the same page here. I just wanted to add that at any age, you can still go to Kashi. Because it takes you to the Vairagya. Of course, you physically go there. It has also a different added impact. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Auntie. Anyone else wants to add any other points? Okay. Yeah, so as was mentioned, I think there's always Tala Prabhavam. So in terms of going to Kashi, and people always go there. It is said that when one drops their mortal coil, Lord Shiva comes and whispers the Rama mantra into the ears of the person passing away, and that's where mukti is kind of. It is believed, it is guaranteed if you drop your mortal coil in Kashi. But then again, yes, fulfilling one's vows at the level of whatever varnashrama dharma that one is in, they have to take care of the duties and responsibilities that are there. But at the same times, when it comes between swadharma or atma dharma versus paradharma, always the atma dharma takes higher importance than paradharma. So what is the duty to the self? If that is weighed upon, it is mumukshatvam in the sense of attaining moksha. So every pilgrimage, it's not just Kashi as was also shared. It is not, of course, it is said in the context of Kashi. Some people make their home itself Kashi. Some people have to go to Kashi and then feel that that is Kashi. Some people go to Kashi also and make it their home. That is another thing. You can go there and still deal with the mundane things in Kashi and get lost. Like what Sanjayana mentioned, you can go there and shop around things in Kashi and come back. So at the end of the day, it is essentially what is a priority for a person. So this context of the pilgrim, knowing that one is a pilgrim for life, and that right from the time one is born, the whole purpose of life is to realize the innate divinity, making every effort in that direction itself makes it a pilgrimage to Kashi or Parthi, whatever we want to call. And every day is a pilgrimage in that direction. And as much as possible, Swami would say Yatha Shakti, as much as possible, we do what is needed of us in this world without dropping any of the duties, responsibilities. We do it, but continuously the calling is in the mind, like what is said, hands in the society, head in the forest. That also was mentioned. Continuously, the thing is, it is for my Swami. That feeling is ingrained so that we know that even as we are going in our day-to-day life, we are able to essence what we go all the way to Kashi. What do? We go all the way to Kashi and then we finally close our eyes when we stand in front of the idol there. So ultimately, the purpose is to know that what is on the outside is actually inside. So if you are able to do that in a day-to-day thing and we are offering that, Swami, I'm offering this to you, that itself makes it a true pilgrimage. The purpose of pilgrimage, of course, is to reinforce that feeling that we are a daily pilgrim. It's not just at the time of the pilgrimage, we are a pilgrim. We have pilgrims connect and all of that. It is to stay connected as a pilgrim in day-to-day life, that activities such as this, whether it is study circle or bhajans and things, if we do on a day-to-day basis, it will just reinforce the higher purpose. And to Sister Vani's question, it is the calling is from within. At the end of the day, we can say that yes, I have duties, yes, I have responsibility, I will finish all this. But we all know that it will never get finished. It will only keep piling and piling and piling. It will not reduce, it will only increase. So we will have to get into the mindset of offering what we have to Swami so that we are able to get out of it rather than get into it. So that is something we can also think about. Any other points to add? Or else we can go to the next slide. Yes, Sanjay now.
I have a question. See, when I think here in this specific section, Swami is only talking about Rama and the brothers um, noticing the discomforts of the pilgrims, right? The question is, why was Dasharatha, King Dasharatha, not aware of these things through his ministers and through his people around the kingdom? Why was he not aware? Just a intriguing thought I had. Because it is Ramaraj. I mean, even though Ramaraja came after Rama, but still, it is Ayodhya. Had illustrious kings before King Dasharatha, and good ruling and stuff. Why was he not aware, or why was the king's ministers not aware of it before?
Very nice question. So, anyone wants to answer that? How come King Dasharatha was blind to the sufferings of the pilgrims and few other things that were missed? Why had the princes to point it out to Sumantra? What is anyone's thoughts on that? Yes, Sister Vani.
Maybe that he is being controlled by his senses, by his name suggests, so he wasn't paying full attention to these other things because he was just being controlled by his senses. He's just thinking out loud here.
Thank you, Sister. Yes, Sister Anandi.
I think in my personal view, the King Dasharatha, I know even these children, the Lord Rama and his brothers, siblings, they would have gone all the way to north to south, east to west. But I don't know whether the King Dasharatha ruled maybe only as maybe the part of India, or maybe in a certain region of India. Maybe he wouldn't have the opportunity to go as a king to all the places. And maybe at king's level, he never thought of he never came down to the ground level or the earth level, that he didn't have that ambitious to see how the ordinary people are living, and what are the needs he needs to fulfill as a king. Maybe he would have missed those parts. In ancient, the ruling, or the current modern, ruling or modern governments, if the first, either the president or prime minister, they should go to all the the provinces or states to see how the how the people are maybe how the people are living in their state, or what are the needs they need to provide. Maybe King Dasharatha, didn't have that, the mindset, but Sister Vani beautifully said, he's the he ruled in accordance with the senses. That's the name also it portrays. That's why maybe that may be the reason, the sage Vasishta they maybe recommended, or maybe even the king, they thought that I am missing something, so I wanted to get my children to get those experience, the first-hand experience, that's the way I am thinking. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you, sister. Yes, Uncle Shankar.
Yeah, this is because the princes need to know the first-hand information of what's happening, whether Dasharatha knew it or not. Dasharatha telling the princess is something different than the actual experiencing of what the pilgrimage makes a man more turning to himself. So I think that's one of the reasons why, even though Dasharatha may or may not have known, he would have sent the children princess to the pilgrimage. That's my count.
Thank you, Uncle. Yes, Auntie Beena.
Sai Ram, why do we assume here that King Dashratha did not do it? Why would we assume that? It is right now we're talking about Sri Rama, Bhagawan, and brothers, and Sumatra. So why we are just assuming that he didn't do it in his time? This is nothing it says here. But on the contrary, Shankarana had a very good point that to, at that level for this princess to go, and Sumant, minister also goes there, it's setting up a very good examples also for themselves to how it should be done. Like I said, all the things right, and accommodation and amenities and needed given to the needed people and things like that. But my point is here, I don't understand why we are assuming that Dashratha did not do it. Sorry about that, but that's what came to my mind. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Auntie. So another question, why are we assuming, because it's not written here by Swami, why are we saying that Dashratha is neglecting? We can come back to this as well. Yes, Brother Narendra.
Sai Ram, brother, I really endorse what the previous sister mentioned. Are we reading a little too much into this than what is written? So, in any kingdom, any place, there may be few places, because circumstances change, there may be some places just missed out, but I think we may be reading a bit too much and being somewhat critical of the king. I'm wondering what is the exact Telugu version of this particular, those 2-3 sentences from Sumatra, when the princess plied him with questions demanding further elaboration. Not that one, I beg your pardon, the last paragraph here. So how does it say? Is the Telugu version exactly like this, or it is a little different? Sai Ram.
Thanks, Brother. Sai Ram, Auntie, if you can confirm.
Yeah. I don't think there is any mention of these things. Just it is written here by Swami. Children were traveling for 3-4 months. 3-4 మాసములు సంచారము జరిపి మధ్య ఆ రాజ్యములందు గల కొన్ని ప్రజా అననుకూలములను యాత్రికుల అనానుకూలమును గుర్తించి మంత్రితో చెప్పి వాటితో సరి చేయించుచు. So in between, they used to stop here and there while traveling, and they used to mix with ordinary people, and they came to know what are their problems and discomforts which they were facing, whether it was pilgrims or the ordinary people who were facing some kind of difficulty. They just came to know, and they told Sumatra to take care of them. That's it.
It's ananukulam is basically inconvenience.
Inconvenience, discomfort, anything you can do.
So the inconveniences or discomfort that was faced by the subjects and pilgrims,
Yeah.
those they brought to the attention of Sumantra to follow up. It's a okay. Any other questions or inputs on this? Okay. Let me just add to this one. I'm just going with looking at how suppose we are going with Swami in the car. So like Swami would go out, especially when he's going on in Kodaikanal and so on with the boys, and as he's going, when we go outside, we also see, for example, in India, we may see some beggars and so on. We will see and we will move on. The same road, if Swami goes, the way he responds will be totally different than how we would respond in certain situations. That will possibly tell us the drishti is the same, or rather the srishti is the same in terms of what is playing out, but how a normal person would respond versus how an avatar would respond are totally different. Everything happens to be the same, but the response evoked, like Swami, whenever he would be going on these trips, when he would see any of these people on the outside, basically I'm looking at, again, inconveniences of people. Many a time Swami has just stopped there, got out things, whatever was there, and immediately catered to what was needed. Sometimes, if he would see like a hat seller who was going there, and with all of that, he will immediately buy all those hats and give it to the boys and tell them to wear, and he would pay that person much more than what the thing, what that material would cost. And in fact, sometimes when he would give money to boys to go and shop in Kodai and so on, he will give explicit instructions, don't bargain. He'll say those people, they are coming off from far off places, they have lot of difficulties, don't bargain. Whatever, so it may seem very contrary as to what is this kind of a thing, but you can see how normal person we may pity them, oh, they are in a difficult situation, or what can be done, that kind of a thing. But knowing that somebody is in a difficult situation, how the Lord responds can give us an inkling of how Rama and the princess were when they were seeing that same thing unfold in front of them. Any small inconvenience, same King Dasharatha would have noticed it, same Minister Sumantra would have noticed it. They might have acknowledged it as an inconvenience and so on. And yes, okay, something possibly needs to be done. But to get down to that level of action and immediately following up and ensuring it is done, that shows the level of that outpour of love, concern, compassion, karunarasa, whatever we have been reading from chapter 1. It shows how throughout that karunarasa keeps flowing in Ramayana or in Ramakatha or Sai Katha. That is what is the karunarasa that keeps coming. Anything that on the outside, how that it draws the response. Like when the Grama Seva happened, the Grama Seva, one of the things of the Grama Seva, Swami said, like a mother could not feed her children, so she had given them pesticide and so on and taken off her life along with the children. And Swami said, in this land of Bharat, that should not happen. And then immediately what that Karuna Rasa came out, it came out as the Grama Seva. So maybe we will read that same newspaper clipping and move on to another story. But how the avatar responds to that kind versus how a human being responds, that tells what is Karuna Rasa. So the Srishti will remain the same as to what is happening, but how the Drishti takes it in and responds to it is totally different. So just wanted to add that context. So obviously the way Dasharatha sees it and the way Rama sees it and responds to it will be totally different.
Very nice.
King Dasharatha would have still done his duty, but then he would have done at a level of a king at a basic level and stopped. But then there's a difference. Any other thoughts or inputs? Or else we can go on to the next slide. Okay. Uncle Ron, if you can, please.
Sure, Sai Ram.
Thank you.
They were responsible for the repair and improvement of many temples, the provision of drinking water wells, the planting of avenue trees, the opening of centers for the distribution of water to thirsty wayfarers, the building of caravanserais, and the establishment of health centers. Whenever Rama expressed a desire that such amenities be provided, Sumantra never hesitated to agree. He saw to it that they were immediately provided to his satisfaction. The princes derived great comfort that the empire had such a loyal and efficient minister as Sumantra. They said to each other that when they had such ministers, welfare and progress were assured. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Uncle. Yes,
Hey,
Aunty.
Sai Ram.
Yes, Aunty.
దైవ మందిరములకు తగిన ఏర్పాట్లు,
Necessary arrangements for the temples.
భద్రతలు కల్పించుచు,
Um,
making them sure of their,
making them sure.
అనేక విధముల యాత్రికులకు నీటి వసతులు,
different provisions for the pilgrims.
నీటి వసతులు, నీరు, water.
Oh, the water. Provision of drinking water.
వృక్ష ఛాయలు,
the shade of the trees.
చలివేంద్రములను, చలివేంద్రం అంటే they distribute not only water, sometimes the buttermilk.
Oh, okay.
Cold buttermilk and other things they also provide. That is chalivendramulo.
Okay.
And then
like cool drinks.
Cool drinks, yeah. Satramulanu.
Mandaps no aunty, like chatram meaning the chaul trees.
Chaul trees or karna, what
Open.
they call it as caravan.
Yeah, the resting places no aunty.
Resting places.
Yeah.
Arogya kendramulu.
Health centers.
నియమించమని రాముడు తెలుపగా,
Rama expressed expressed the request to establish them.
రామాభిష్టములకు అడ్డు చెప్పక,
without putting any obstacle to Rama's wishes.
కోరిన అన్నింటినీ అతి శీఘ్రముగానే చేయించుచు,
all the requests that were made with expedited speed, they were accomplished.
వచ్చుచున్న సుమంతుని చూచి,
seeing all of this done by Sumantra,
పిల్లలు తమలో తాము ఆనందించుచు,
the boys were happy within themselves.
మన మంత్రి వంటి మంత్రులు లోకమున ఉండిన,
if a minister such as Sumatra are there in this world,
లోకక్షేమనకు కొదవ రాదు.
There will be no hindrance to the welfare of the world.
రాదని ఒకరితోనొకరు గునుగునలాడుచుండరు.
They were talking amongst themselves.
That's all. I think so. It stopped there.
Yes, Aunty. Thank you, Aunty. Anyone wants to share their thoughts about this paragraph?
Sai Ram.
Yes, Aunty.
Those days, mostly, there were no vehicles for people to travel from one place to another, especially the pilgrimage places. So they used to travel on foot. So on the way, they had to rest. And sometimes it was so hot, So they drinking water and cool drinks like buttermilk and other things, juice were given to people. And then a shade, for the shade, planting of the trees also was one of the things which they did. And here and there they used to have this chowdhury things where people could rest at the night, and then further they can travel in the morning. So these were the dana facilities which dana dharma that's they used to make. So Swami is mentioning all these things, particularly of those days, which are necessary for even now pilgrimage people who go there. Sometimes they walk. So these things are very necessary for travelers like that. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Auntie. Any other points to consider here? Yeah. So just to add to what Auntie was mentioning, oh yeah, I see. Yes, Sister Anand.
Sai Ram, brother, I look at this one, all these points Swami has done nicely in his ashram or in Patti, the repair and improvement of many temples, the provision of drinking water wells, the planting of avenue trees. When we go through the Vidyagiri and all those things, I always admire how nicely all these trees and the opening of centers for the distribution of water. I just thought about all these things Swami has done, in his lifetime, and this itself, the proof that the Swami itself is a Rama, that's what I just thought. All these things, the building of the Annashatra or the caravan sras, that is the one also I came to know that there are free food, they deliver at maybe the places for all the pilgrims and those things. So exactly Swami, done all those things, in his lifetime, uh, that's the one I got it, from this passage, the Swami itself. It's a Purnavadar, and whatever he said in this the Ramakatha Rasavahini, he fulfilled all those things. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sister. Thank you for sharing that. Any other points anyone else wants to add to that? Okay, since we have 2 minutes, maybe. So based on what Auntie mentioned and even Sister Anandi said, if you remember, I think Mother Ishwarama, she had asked Swami 3 things. She said, Swami, these children and ladies are carrying water from all the way from Chitravati and so on. Can you please have a small well dug in this village so that people can draw water here itself? And what Swami did, he made it into the Sri Sathya Sai drinking water supply project that covered thousands of villages. It took water all the way to the city of Chennai. So that is one thing. Secondly, Mother Ishwarama said, Swami, these children have to walk a long distance. Can you open a small primary school? So what Swami did, he not only opened primary school, higher secondary school, he also opened the university. And all of this Sri Sathya Sai educate programs that all of us are beneficiaries, how Swami amplified it. The third one, I think she asked for a small dispensary, small health clinic for the villagers because they were having so many problems and they had to travel a lot again for this. And what Swami did, again, we know that the super specialty hospital, the general hospital, all of that came. The same thing, whether it is, Swami would always say, drinking water, Vidya and Vaidya, both education and medication, those kind of things have to be totally free, and they were given free in those ancient times. And to ensure that it comes all the way, not only in Treta Yuga or so on, Swami ensured that even in Kali Yuga it happens the way all of that was done. So, two interesting things. One is the way here Lord Rama and the princes, the same thing was requested. Again, Swami got it and did all of that. The second thing is one small request from Mother Ishwarama, how Swami amplified it and gave it back to humanity. So it shows that how the same thing of what we read earlier also, how the Lord's compassion and love is shown to humanity. Yes, Brother Yoga Kumaran.
Yesterday, just in life about the Ray Sai, they explained about the Swami's water project, and they said they make a big tank, but they make the big tank on the hill. If it's burst, sometimes the whole village going to drown on the bottom of the hill, and they worried about that. And Swami came. This is very nice. I never heard about this the architecture idea, engineering idea. Swami come and say, why you worry about that? Make the apartment inside the tank. So the pressure won't come to the wall very heavily. It's broke by all the walls. So the water tank will stay for a long time. It's a very magnificent, marvelous idea. And they all got shocked, and I really shocked because I was working in the construction company back home. I really shocked. It's a very nice idea. I never thought about that too. Sai Ram.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think when the downpour of love comes from the Lord, every other thing gets taken care of. Thanks for sharing that. I think we are about time now. So if there is no further questions or discussion, we'll close and then continue next week. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone.